If you like papayas, then and you have space in your yard, then you should grow them in Central Florida if you live Central Florida or south. So this is a picture of a papaya that I just pulled off one of my trees the other day, and you can see how big it is. So there's a bottle of red vino, and you can see how massive the papaya is. And this is about as big as a football. So you're talking, well, actually bigger. Uh, well, sort of bigger. Part of it is bigger, right? The ends, of course, are a little bit longer than this, but otherwise it's just huge. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of papaya growing and what to look out for if you have an interest. So here is a picture of, first, nutrition facts related to papayas. One of the most important things that we tend not to get enough of in our diet is potassium. So papayas are a great source of potassium, as are all other vegetables and fruits. So here's a picture of a papaya tree that happened to just grow naturally in a friend's yard. And he was cleaning up his yard, and he saw this tree, and I said, hey, listen, I'll come by and get it because if you're going to take it down or you don't want it, then I'll deal with it. So he called me and said, hey, I put it into a pot and you can come pick it up. So I'm like, oh, cool. So 2 days later, I go over there, and this is what I see. So a slumping, limping, poorly removed papaya tree. So I take it, bring it back to my yard, and put it in a pot and do a little rehab on it. And so now it looks like this planted in my yard. So you can see it growing now. Back over here, you can see this is an avocado tree, and there are two more next to it. And right over here, you got aloe vera growing. This little spot back here is where turmeric's going to start flying shortly. But here's the tree. So it has been rehabbed, and it's doing quite well. Now the problem is whenever the temperature hits freezing, papayas do not like it. Papaya freeze looks like this, literally. And after it unfreezes and they kind of relax a little bit, they're just crushed. And so what happens is you have to cut the papaya down to the ground. So you can see right here. I'll give another angle here. This is a new, well, now it's a 10-foot tree that grew 10 feet in 1 year. This is what it looks like when you hack it down a little bit more closely. So you can see how the beginning of 2018, we had two freeze periods, and it just crushed the papaya tree. So I hacked them all down to this. They're all 10 feet tall or higher, all fruiting, lost it all, hacked them down, and then out came a sprout. And now the sprout is as tall as the original tree was, so 10 feet tall and providing fruit, which is really awesome. I'll show you some pictures that came off this tree in a little while. But that's how it looks. So it's essentially like you just hack it down to below the freeze point where the tree is not all mushy and screwed up, and it can grow back. So I had probably 10 maybe papaya trees that got crushed in the freeze beginning of January 2018. And 2 of the 10 didn't come back. I think 2 of the 10 didn't come back. 3 of the 10 didn't come back. But otherwise, I've got papayas galore going out. I'm giving away. So this is an example of one of the trees, how it came back. This guy was actually maybe about 8 feet tall and got hammered, and now it's 10 feet tall and has all these papayas hanging on it. And that papaya that I originally showed in that image that was next to the wine glass, it came off of this tree right here. Now what's kind of blurry here, a little bit screwed up here, is that this tree, because of the way it actually grew 4 new sprouts there are 4 new trunks from the one trunk that I cut down. And so the previous tree I showed you and this tree are the same tree, actually. And as soon as these guys wrap up, I'm going to pull them off and get it out of the way, because this is a fig tree that's starting to crank up here. Over here, what you see is a prickly pear tree. So these are bigger than footballs. And they're not as amazingly delicious as the ones that you get in the supermarket, but actually I like them better because they're not as sweet. So this is one of the 3 papayas I pulled off that first tree that I showed you. and there they are. So this one here is 8 inches long, and the other ones were slightly less, and they were all really, really tasty. So I got my motivation to do papaya trees because I saw papayas growing in 2 yards. And I'm like, I'd like to grow these just because they are so tropical and cool looking to me. They're the coolest looking tropical trees, at least the ones that I like. If you don't like them, don't do it. If you don't like papayas, don't do it. But if you like the look and you like the papayas, there's no reason not to do it. So I was driving by a restaurant. It's actually, I think it's a Thai restaurant. And this is what I saw. Now, before I saw this, it was just one trunk, but it too got crushed in the freeze last year. And so they hacked it back, and this tree grew out 4 sprouts. And so you can see the one big one is giving us papayas, and then the second biggest one is giving papayas as well. So that is how it looks. Get a closer view. So the freeze happened, they hacked it down, and eventually, assuming there's no freeze at the end of this year, this guy here will give fruit at the end of this year. Another tree was at this restaurant. You can see another view of how they kind of like hack them and grow, and there you go. Hack them down and they grow out. I don't know how many times a papaya tree can take this, certainly once for sure. So I had a small, probably I think it was maybe 20 bucks I paid for a bunch of trees at Lowe's, and I had to hack them all down. And this is 4 or 5 of the trees I bought for 20 only. Hack them down, and they're the ones that sprouted out 4 different trunks that are now bearing fruit. So it's quite astonishing. I'm pretty sure this tree is a lot older than mine because way, way, way thicker. So if you like papayas, you can certainly grow them in central and southern Florida. If you cross down to where there's no freeze in Florida, I mean, you can occasionally get a freeze down in South Florida, but it's pretty rare. But Central Florida, hadn't had a freeze here in a long time. Had one, I thought everything was lost, and then they grew back strong, if not stronger than they were before. So if you like papayas, you should do it. If you want to learn more about nutrition and inflammation, how to shred whether you eat fruit or not, here are my 2 books, The DeFlame Diet and the Weight Loss Secrets You Need to Know. Each has volume discounts available, and as of today, which is April 15th, within hopefully 2 to 4 weeks, my next DeFlame book will be available, and it is the DeFlame Diet for Breast Health and Cancer Prevention. Will be available in probably 4 weeks from today, so we're looking at the middle of May, maybe sooner. But I will let you all know so you can check them out and look through them. Okay, so that's the end of this video, and catch you later.